Hey guys, it's Dennis here with Revog Games, and I'm joined by
Joshua Weyers, all the way in South Africa.
yes, and we've got this episode, and it's a big one because a lot of stuff has happened
Oh yeah.
this past week and a half because we are a little late with the podcast, but yeah, a lot of stuff, a lot of big stuff. So let's start off with the biggest one, which is Xbox had their 20th anniversary this past week. I believe it was on Tuesday. Was that it? On Tuesday? Or was it Monday? It's all blurring together for me. It's Monday, right? November
Yeah.
15th. And they had a live stream and they kind of like announced a bunch of things. And obviously the biggest thing they announced was, hey, guess what? Halo Infinite multiplayer, the free-to-play version, is
Dropped
out now.
super early.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
out now. So the game itself, the campaign, we should say, the one that you're going to pay for, doesn't come out until December 8th, which is 2-3 weeks from now. So I had assumed that they were going to just release the multiplayer at the same time with the campaign. I thought this for several reasons. And there was rumors last week about like, oh, the 20th anniversary is coming. I think they're going to announce multiplayer is ready to go. I didn't believe it, to be honest with you, because I had thought, you know what, if they really want to sell or get people to play the campaign, right, they're going to release at the same time, because as soon as, not myself, because I love the campaign, a lot of people who are going to play multiplayer, once they get hooked on it, which we'll talk about in a second, they may never go play the campaign. I will, because I do love the Halo campaigns. But my thinking was, okay, they put a lot of time and effort into this. They want people to pay for it, whatever, or at least download from Game Pass to justify the the amount of money. But I guess for them, this free to play version is more important, getting out as soon as possible, and it's been a pretty big success from a numbers standpoint and from a response from the fans and the critics as well. I know you and me have played.
Yeah. I'm
quite,
loving
quite
it. Absolutely loving it.
yeah. So let's get into the free to play game itself. One, what do you think about the announcement? Were you super surprised? And how are you liking the game?
I didn't even know about the announcement, Dennis. I check Game Pass every single day, like on my PC. So I literally opened up Game Pass and I was like, holy crap.
You didn't get my
Halo Infinite's
message?
here.
I messaged you like right after I heard. I was like,
Oh, that's right. You did message
yeah.
me. Yeah. It was one of the two. I didn't see the announcement though.
Okay.
As soon as I heard it was out, that's my mind just went
hmm
Halo, like
hmm
nothing else. I was like, I gotta download this. Game is smaller than I was expecting, which is cool, like
It's
file
20
size wise.
something, 26
I suppose
gigs
it's
or something
because
like
the
that.
campaign will be separate. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
It's not like Warzone or Call of Duty
yeah.
where it's like there's like 40 gigs of other assets that you don't use.
Hmm
Um, which speaking of, I don't think we have an article about it, but yeah, I don't. I think this has to obviously do with what's going on at Activision Blizzard as well. But besides that, people are saying that it's maybe game fatigue. But Call of Duty sales have dropped by 40% this year. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's to be expected. Is it the same thing how
Yeah.
happened with Assassin's Creed? That's why they went to
hmm
once every 2-3 year model. I mean, one, you're not bringing. The thing is, when you have these games come out every single year, people
Yeah.
start forgetting and skipping ones, right?
hmm
It's not a
I mean,
sports
I
thing.
couldn't even keep up. I couldn't keep up with all the call. Literally, since they last released the remake of Modern Warfare,
It's
since then it's been like a
and it's
blur of just
confusing, and
games.
it's confusing, right? You're like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
well, which one is this? Wait, Vanguard? What's this one about? Okay, well, that one was Modern Warfare, and then, okay, this is Black Ops. This is Blackout or whatever they were calling the other one.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, it's just confusing. There's too many. Just go to what Ubisoft has been doing, which I think is the right move, is make the game special again. There's nothing special about look, and remember, now Call of Duty is no longer the big dog. I mean, it's still obviously super, super powerful, but or popular. But you got,
Yeah.
Fortnite is out there, Apex Legends out there. This Halo thing, I think this Halo thing is gonna be huge. I
Well,
mean,
it's destroyed Battlefield
yeah,
2042. Like nobody. To be fair though, I have seen the dumbest glitches on Battlefield
yeah, which we're gonna
2042.
talk about in a little bit. And when I
Yeah.
mean the Halo's huge, like obviously we know Halo is a huge,
Mm.
property. What I'm talking about is the free to play multiplayer,
It's gonna
that
be
type of
bigger
thing.
than we were expecting. Like we knew it was gonna be good. We knew it was gonna be big, but it's. I mean, Steam servers were struggling because of how many people were downloading at the same time when it was released. Uh,
Yeah.
I
And
think this game's gonna have a lot of longevity, like a
yeah,
lot of longevity.
which is
Like this
funny.
is, yeah, supposedly the last Halo, if you think about it. At least that's the goal in terms of multiplayer. There'll be other
Yeah,
campaigns, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. So yeah, it's funny. And then you and me were talking about how Doctor Disrespect was like he was kind of
He
being
thought it was
really
gonna flop.
yeah, that was gonna be
Yeah.
bomb. Now he has changed his. He's done a 180 on it. Now he loves it. But he was saying, I mean, he did say mostly the campaign got him worried because of what he's seen so far. But yeah, this
There are some issues to the game, I would say, but they will definitely get patched. There's no glitch issues. It's just obviously there's some exploits that they obviously didn't know about
mhm,
before they released it. Like for instance, with Capture the Flag, I've noticed that if you are carrying the flag, it is literally quicker for you to throw the flag in front of you and switch your weapon and like cycle, literally just keep cycling through your
mm,
weapon, and you're able to like throw like throw it, walk into it, throw it, walk into it,
mhm,
throw it, and you're able to move much quicker than if you're just holding the flag.
mhm.
So that is a bit of an exploit that they might have to fix. I don't know how they would fix that exploit. And then, I mean, people might keep it in because it's something where it's like just get used to it, you know.
Yeah.
Um, it's something smart to do anyways, even if they do fix that, it's something smart to switch between your weapon and
Yeah,
the thing
because
all
you're
the
all
time.
constantly being hunted. And
Exactly, yeah.
you're a sitting
Uh,
duck with the flag. But yeah,
there's other, but besides that, there's like nitty gritty things that'll be evened out over the years, and they'll probably introduce new things into the game, and then they'll have to be evened out. But that's how most games that are like games as a service, that's what they
yeah.
do. You know, if you're gonna have a game that's gonna last 5 or 6 years, you're constantly gonna be adding things, fixing things, nerfing, buffing. You know, constant polish. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Currently, it's fun. It's really fun. It's addictive. In my opinion, it's like it's somewhere between casual and sweaty. Like you can take the game super seriously if you want, but at the same time you can just run and gun if you want. It's like it caters to all type of gamers in my opinion, you know?
Yeah, I think one of the things that people, I don't know if it was Doctor Disrespect or someone else, or maybe it was the community in general, was worried that Halo Infinite wasn't going to do well because it didn't have battle royale. Which one? There's rumors that it will eventually
Mm.
have it. It I'll be honest with you, it doesn't need it.
It's gonna have a lot of game modes at
It
some
doesn't
point, you
need
know?
it. I mean, I'm not one who is that big into battle royale. I guess sometimes for when you're doing teams of like with trips or whatever, in Apex Legends or you know the one battle royale game I do enjoy is Population One, the VR1 Oculus
The
Quest.
VR one, yeah.
But
Oh, I get to finally try that after Black Friday because I'm getting a Quest 2. Hell yeah.
yeah, let me know and we can play.
That'll be
It's
fun.
the one battle royale game. I mean, Apex Legend I do like as well. I don't really play Fortnite, but Halo's my jam, man. I mean, Halo Infinite, the multiplayer, everyone's responding well to it. It's
Yeah.
like they say, it feels like old Halo. It feels like, I know
I don't
this is
think
like
there's
a
enough guns for this game to be a battle royale either. Like, there's a couple things like, well, I guess you got all those abilities and stuff too. It could work as a battle royale, but it would have to be like, I think like 40 people on a map kind of thing, you know?
hmm
Like they can't do like 100 people, that last one standing. Um, what I would like to see, and maybe to do it in the future, is I want bigger maps and bigger team games. I at first didn't enjoy the team combat. Well,
hmm
it depends what you're in the mood for. You know what I mean?
hmm
Like the 4v4 modes are definitely the most like adrenaline pumping in my opinion.
yeah.
And the maps are a lot smaller too. But then those big maps, the big team maps where you've got the vehicles that you can use as well, and all those things, I enjoy that a lot. But it's a very different type of game. You know what I mean?
hmm
With having that many people around you. Uh, but I would like to see bigger maps in the future for that and like more people, you know? Not like severely more, but it's like just a few more and a little bit bigger, you know? Maybe I haven't seen all the maps yet.
hmm
Um, maybe I have actually. I don't know. I've been playing a lot, but I haven't seen a truly like massive map yet. Like makes me think of like old Unreal Tournament 3 kind of stuff. But the thing is, because this is games as a service, everything we're talking about might happen. You know, maybe not now, maybe not next year, but eventually it might happen.
Yeah. It's I feel like, at least for my gameplay style, I don't really need the battle royale. Sure, having it as an option for people is good, but like I don't need it because I like the like, okay, you go in there, you die, I want to respawn and just play in the same thing again. I don't want to, like, now I gotta go find another game.
I was gonna say that's the issue I've noticed is matchmaking. So if they did have a battle royale, because matchmaking takes a while, because the issue, well, maybe battle royale might be better for that sense, but the issue with matchmaking is if someone on your team has a potato, it's gonna take forever to load the game, and it'll always be like waiting for teammates to load game. You know what I mean? Or something like that. I don't think that's a thing with the big people, with the big team games, because you can just hop in and out, and people are probably leaving and disconnecting all the time anyways. I like even if this game had a battle royale mode, cool. I'd try it out once or twice, but I would probably in the long run stick to doing the 4v4 games because you can have 3 friends on comms and you can actually communicate, you can strategize, organize. You know what I mean? Whereas the big team games, there's way too many people to be able to communicate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love
easy to communicate with 4 people.
I like the 4v4. I like smaller maps. I just love the I forgot the name of that one map. I thought it was Bizarre, but I don't think it is Bizarre. But it's a really small one.
Is it the one that has like the middle section with the double doors in the middle section?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and it basically has like 3 lanes for you to go from, like on each spawn, and it's kind of identical on each sides.
Yeah, and in the middle is just like this like little tiny building.
Yeah, that's the one. That's my favorite map as well. That is my favorite map as well.
So fun.
It's just the perfect size as well, and there's like not that many angles to check, and it's good. It keeps things going, you know.
Yeah, and and then when you're playing Capture the Flag, which Capture the Flag is honestly not my favorite mode, and that has nothing to do with Halo. It's just in general. Yeah. I don't really care much for, especially the one where you do defend and then capture. At least the one with the where there's 2 flags is a little more fun.
Yeah.
Where the other one's just this time, whatever.
I like
nonsense.
the mode where you're holding the ball.
Oh, Oddball? That one's fun.
Oddball. I like Oddball. Oddball's kind of fun, yeah.
Because you don't actually even have to be that great of a player to contribute. Because if you just get the ball and go run around, and as your team is good and they're protecting you, or when someone else gets the ball, you just protect them. You're contributing to the team. Yeah. Domination is fun.
I don't want the pressure. I don't want the pressure of the ball, so I just sit there and I protect.
The problem when you get the balls, you run so slow, and it's like, oh my god.
Same as when you have the flag and capture the flag.
Yeah. But I think Oddball is fun. Domination is fun, where you have the 3 different zones. Anyways, I'm just having a blast with it. It's the first.
Domination is That's what I like about Domination is you can't camp. You know, keep moving. You got to keep moving.
You have to.
You know. Well, I guess you could.
You could camp if you want to defend. If you want to defend one place, but then your teammates have to go do other. You know what I mean? You can't have one person at one place. Like maybe one person at one of and then the other 3 are trying to capture I don't know. It's all strategy.
I had the energy blade at one point, and I was just camping around a corner on one of the sites, and there was. Every time the teams would try to come and take the site, I felt so bad. It's definitely a very noob move, but it felt so good. I just energy bladed them each time they just stood in front of me. I never left that corner.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, to anybody listening or watching this, if you're gonna complain, if you're gonna be like, hey, you shouldn't camp, just know that if you lose to a camper multiple times, that's on you, because you know where he is, you know where he's camping, you find that guy and you kill him. That's what you do to campers.
Oh, dude, in that one map we were talking about, the small one, I was chasing a guy. He knew I was hitting him, and he ran through the double doors. And I knew, like, right when I went through the double doors, I just turned that corner. I knew he was hiding in that corner.
Exactly. And you gotta check gotta check your corners, man. Like, that's like the number one way people die is they don't check their corners. Especially in a game like this where it's not a tactical shooter. Like, tactical shooters, you will die if you do not check your corners.
Yeah.
But with this, I love it. I like all the abilities too, man. You go invisible. You can get the shield.
I'm not so good at the grapple shot. I'm not so good at the drop shield.
I love the grapple shot. I suck with the drop shield. Yeah, I keep throwing it in the wrong places. But the
Yeah.
grapple hook, that's
What
the
about
thing
the
that got me excited
thrusters?
for
Are
the
you using the
campaign.
thrusters? I'm not using the thrusters at all.
I hate the thrusters, man. I think they're useless. Maybe I just haven't seen how to use them the right way, but I don't like they're good for melee attacks, like thrusting into someone and then
Mm-hmm.
like give them the melee. You know what I mean? If their shields are
Yeah.
down. But other than that, I think the grapple hook, the invisibility,
The
those are my
camo,
two
yeah.
favorite. Yeah, those are my two favorite abilities.
Yeah, I'm old
For sure.
school, so I like camo. I like the overshield, obviously.
Mm. Oh yeah, and the
Yeah,
overshield too. Yeah.
yeah, but the game's just so much fun. Yeah, and another thing they did that made it a big success was they released on Steam at the same time as they did
Mm-hmm.
on the Xbox PC app. So if you and I actually downloaded it off Steam because I was having issues with the Xbox PC app. I don't know if they were just too overflooded with people trying to download it, and I was like,
They
okay,
definitely were.
and I was like, okay, this ain't working. I'm going to Steam, and then they said, and I don't know how they're calculating because they said, and this is, as of the 16th, they said 250,000 concurrent players, which would rank 22nd of all time, like all time.
I think that's just Steam.
And that's probably just Steam, and then also that's, that was on Tuesday.
Game
I
Pass
think,
is very like secretive with their numbers because I saw like with Back for Blood with there was an
Mhm.
article saying this is how many people are playing Back for Blood on Steam. Well, not on Steam. They said this is how many people are playing Back for Blood on PC, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
but you read the article and it's like it's not mentioning Game Pass at all, you know.
Mhm.
So I think Microsoft is kind of on that. Well, they're not like gonna keep it, but it's just I guess harder to access the numbers on to see how many downloads a game has had and things like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting, and we're gonna talk about this a little bit later. This is such a packed episode. Is about Forza Horizon 5. Sorry, it's not 7.
Mm-hmm.
And the success with that and Game Pass. I mean, it's been a great week or great not
Oh
couple
yeah.
weeks for Microsoft Game Pass, Xbox, PC. Gaming, all that good stuff. What else can we talk about? I mean, there's so much to talk about.
It's been a horrible week for Activision, but we'll get into that
Yeah,
later.
yeah. Quickly, Phil Spencer had said they had botched the original Halo Infinite reveal. They said they should have been honest with themselves. He said,
Yeah.
and quote, I don't think hope is such a great development strategy. Like they just were hoping they could make it a launch title, but they made the right move ultimately to delay the game. I mean, right? Like,
Yes.
I mean, look at it
I'm
with
so
the
glad.
success now. It's
And
going
also,
bonkers.
I think we covered it last time, but the differences with just the character models. You know what I mean? Like for the campaign that is. You know what I mean? The
Mhm.
different like the changes they made to a lot of the character models, the armor, I'm blanking on them right now. The aliens. What are their names?
Which ones? There's the brutes, and
The
then
brutes.
there's
Thank you. Sorry, the brutes. Yeah. It was the brutes because people were really upset with the original design. No, they weren't really upset, but they were like the original design for the brute. It looked old, like old gen, and then they updated the brute, and it's like a huge improvement. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So I'm really glad they delayed the game. I can't wait for the campaign. I'm really looking forward to that.
The
Like
only
I said,
bad thing is no co-op for launch
yeah,
at launch. They're gonna
at
wait till I think
launch, yeah.
January or February. I think is when the co-op's gonna be
Which is
implemented.
all right because it gives you a reason to play the game again. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's
If
gonna
you
be
if you think
interesting.
about if you think about co-op on the older games though, you replay it. Like co-op like Halo 4, I probably played the beginning half of that game at least 3 times just because it's like, hey, you got a if it's one of the only co-op games you have and you got a buddy over, you're going to play it, you know?
Yeah, the first Halo, I think Halo 1, I went through co-op like I think at least 10 times with
Yeah.
sometimes
So
with the
it'll have that
same friends.
replayability.
It's sometimes I was gonna say with different friends. Yes, it was with different friends, but also with the same friends too, like
Well, yeah.
multiple
For
times.
for
Like,
me that was Borderlands 1. That
okay,
game me and multiple friends have finished it over and over again. And
yeah,
the same friends, we finished it. Like every couple of years we come back to it, you know?
yeah. During this Xbox 20th anniversary, they finally showed the Halo TV series teaser, where you got to look
Mhm.
at the actual. At least the helmet, maybe not the whole full armor. Well, actually, you got to see some of it. You got to see the
You
hands. You
saw
got to see,
skin.
yeah. You saw the back of his head. You see the helmet. So, which is interesting too, because now remember it was going to be a Showtime series. Now it's going to be a Paramount
Mhm.
Plus series, which probably means I'm gonna have to extend my. I wasn't planning on extending my
Yeah.
Paramount Plus subscription, but it looks like they've got me with Halo. So they announced that. And there was a whole bunch of stuff. The Rock came out, that, talked about the Vault, which I'm still not exactly sure what the Vault is, because it's like
Yeah.
something where you can win prizes or whatnot.
They also did the backwards they added a bunch of games for backwards compatibility, and they also said that that's it. Like
Yeah.
the games they added now, that they're never gonna add. They're not going to be adding more.
Yeah, I think it's
Mainly
like
they said
legal
due to
reasons. Yeah,
licensing rights. It's the same. Well, I got an article about it as well. We'll talk about how incredibly horrible the GTA
Oh
remaster is.
yeah, that's
It's not a remake; it's a remaster, but it is getting. It's got a
yeah.
0.4 right now on Metacritic. That's the user review score, though. But yeah, we'll get into that later. Why did I bring that up again? What were we just talking about?
Just Xbox 20th anniversary. The other stuff. What's the biggest complaint I think of Halo Infinite multiplayer has been the battle pass.
Yes,
the progression
fixed at least.
Yeah, they made it I guess too grindy. They were giving you like XP for every 2 or 3 games you played, which was very, very slow. They've changed it to every game now. So they've already made that fix. There were some free, free.
And the battle pass is pretty cool. We were talking about that, which I like the last armor set you get. It looks pretty cool.
Which one? Which one was that? The red, white,
The last
and blue one?
No.
Oh
I'm
no!
not talking color
In battle
combinations.
pass,
I'm talking
yeah.
I'm talking about the battle pass, and then you can unlock armor pieces for your suit that are different. You know what I mean? Like little like shoulder attachments, hip attachments.
It's all about the visor and helmet, man.
Exactly, yeah.
But they're separated. You can get different helmets, and then the visor is like a different shape and different like pattern and color and stuff to it.
The last armor you unlock, I like it. It's it has the skull / smiley face thing as your like the spray paint on your helmet, and then you basically look like a heavy Spartan. That's like you would be the heavy assault Spartan. Like you'd be the guy with the LMG or the rocket launcher or something. You know what I mean? Or like the multiple grenades. You look like that kind of guy in a squad. It looks sick though. I love it. If you finish the battle pass completely, there's an effect that you can put on your body where you just look like you're on fire. You get one for your head where there's like flames around your head, and there's one where like flames are on your shoulders. So if you equip both, it's like you're kind of on fire. But then right at the end of the battle pass, and this is actually the coolest thing that I've seen, and this is what makes me excited for the future of the battle passes, is that if you finish the battle pass, you get the flame effect. So, and that'll be on all your like your grenades, everything, like anything in game that has effects, it'll have a flame effect. That I think is cool. You know what I mean? Like like a melee effect and things like that. I think that's sick. I'm looking forward to the future of what that's going to be like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A year from now, it's going to be ridiculous. You'll be having unicorn helmets and stuff, and I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah, I mean, eventually got to go somewhere. I mean, look, I told you I've never been like a big battle royale, big free to play gamer. This is the first game that I bought a battle pass for. Never bought one for Apex Legends. I never bought one for Fortnite. I didn't buy one for Population 1. This is the first one. This is the first one that I'm like, okay, I know I'm playing this game. I know I'm interested in getting the different armor and whatnot. And it's recently.
I will say it's not the best battle pass, but I'm getting it because I know I'm going to be playing this game a lot.
Yeah.
So it's like I may as well get the battle pass. It gives me a bit more incentive to do challenges and things and unlock it. Adds a bit of whimsy when you get to dress up differently.
Yeah.
But when I was playing the game, I was like, it also makes me excited because whenever a new free game as a service comes out, the first battle pass is usually not that good, and it only gets better from there. Apex, their first battle pass was horrible. Like, well, I wouldn't say horrible. It was just boring. You know what I mean? It's like nobody would spend money on it. Second battle pass, huge improvement. A lot of games are like that. So it's like right now the battle pass is good. It's not bad. It's just that I was expecting more, and I think that's going to happen next battle pass.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
They've extended.
But I'm gonna buy it anyways because I'm addicted to the game. Like,
have you bought your battle pass yet?
No, I am gonna be buying it Saturday.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna get it. I'm getting paid on Saturday.
Yeah, I bought it because
Yeah, I did a corporate voice acting gig this week, which
Nice.
paid quite well.
I bought it because I just couldn't stand my noob armor
Oh,
set.
yeah. Yeah, why
So
didn't you? Like I told you, the blue, the red, white, and
I,
blue,
I
and the
I
stuff
ended
is
up getting
it's
it.
not free.
I
It
ended up
is free,
getting
isn't
it.
it?
Yeah, it's free. I got
It's
it.
free. Yeah,
I'm never gonna use it, to be honest with you.
yeah,
Why am I gonna?
yeah.
I'm not gonna be using these like brightly colored.
Like super flashy. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Look,
I'm
in
gonna
in
get
a, in a year
killed.
from now, we're all gonna be like pink or neon red or
Yeah.
something. You know, it's gonna
I'm
be we're
not.
gonna be out there.
Think about it this way. I'm not good enough to have an armor that flashy. Because as soon
Oh,
as you're
okay. Yeah,
flashy, you're gonna get killed.
yeah. You're gonna
Uh,
have that flick. You're gonna have to have that the quick flick on the thumb or the quick flick on
yeah,
the wrist to be able to.
yeah.
No, I
So
feel you. I feel you. That makes sense.
maybe if I get
But yeah,
better and like I'm awesome at the game, because yeah, it's
oh
just
well.
like a
Speaking of, well, we mentioned that skin. In the shop right now, you can buy a bunch of skins that are color coordinated to a lot of esport teams.
yes. I saw Face
Which are
Clan was
the
in there.
Sentinels, which is one of
Yeah.
my favorite teams. I do. It's because Sentinels is my favorite Valorant team.
Uh-huh.
They're really good. But yeah, it's like you said, not a single person is shitting on this game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people are saying this needs improvements here or there, but then they're like playing it like every day, you know? Like
People are playing.
every streamer I've seen complain about this game are playing the game every day, you know?
Yeah.
Like they're still hooked.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm very happy with it. Like I said, first battle pass I bought, it's I think extended to May, right? I think that's when the first season
It's
will
long.
end.
Yeah, it was like 100 days or something.
Yeah, I think because quite honestly, I think they just need to work out the kinks. They already started. Technically, the multiplayer that we're playing right now is the beta, because
Yeah. Yeah.
the official version.
The battle pass was technically only supposed to start in December, like you said.
Yeah,
So that's why it's extended as well.
yeah. So officially, it's actually a beta, and it officially launches with the December 8th version.
Fantastic beta though. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
But your progress is going to carry over. All your stuff's going to carry
Yeah.
over. So I look forward to playing much of this. But yeah. What else are we? Oh, there's just so much to talk about. Anyways,
I know.
real quickly before we move on to our next topic, which is the Game Award nominations, is they also released a Xbox Series X and S cloud gaming launch trailer. So now, before, right, the cloud gaming was on your phone
Mobile device.
or your
Yeah.
tablet. Yeah, now you can do it actually from your console. So, which is nice. So,
Oh, nice.
so
I still think it's funny that PlayStation Now is supported by Edge browser, which means you can play PlayStation games on your Xbox. I still find that hilarious.
yeah.
Well, you can
Uh,
stream
yeah.
PlayStation games on your Xbox. I should say, yeah.
Okay. Anything else about Halo Infinite which I'm sure we're going to talk about a lot in the future? Any last thoughts?
Play it. If you're listening to this and you're watching this, it's free. Play it.
Yeah,
That's my last remark.
I mean, you need an Xbox or a PC. You obviously cannot play this on
Yeah.
PlayStation, but it is free.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're on Game Pass, you'll be able to get the campaign for, essentially free next month. Yeah, just great game. I see it vying for some awards next year because it didn't qualify for any awards this year.
Look, all those awards Fortnite won a year or two ago, all those awards are gonna go to Halo. Maybe not all of them, but it's gonna win awards, like you said. You know.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Game Awards 2021 nominations, because there's a little bit of controversy. It's quite frankly hasn't been like a. It's funny because like this year I have had a blast playing games, and a lot to do with it actually has to do with. Well, we had this 1-2 punch of Halo Infinite and Forza Horizon 5, but also with Game Pass, just being able to play games that I normally wouldn't have played.
A lot of like great indies and
yeah.
stuff, you know what I mean? Or like 12 minutes was a great game that took me by surprise that I usually wouldn't kind of play, but I
Yeah.
played it because it was on Game Pass and I loved it. Same with The Medium. I avoid horror games because same way I avoid horror movies. I'm just not
same
good
with
with
me.
that kind of stuff. But like I wouldn't regret spending the money on this because it was already there. And then we did a review for it anyways. And you know what? The game was scary. Actually wasn't that scary. It was more just like
Psychological.
uh yeah, like admit like there were some like points in time in that game where I needed to stop and just think about my life and all the people in my life, rather than being like, ooh, the Oogie Boogie Man's here. It's like, oh
Yeah.
my God, no, the Oogie Boogie Man is in me. I am
Mhm.
the Oogie Boogie Man. It was a whole different feeling. But also great game, beautiful, like it looked beautiful,
Yeah. So it's weird because from a AAA standpoint, to me, Forza Horizon 5 and Halo Infinite, those are, well, we'll get to Forza with the Game Awards because it actually did qualify, but it was not nominated. So, but Halo was not, didn't qualify. So,
Well,
Game of
Halo
the,
dropped too late.
yeah. So, Game of the Year, here are the games that were nominated: Deathloop, It Takes Two,
Mm-hmm.
Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village. So these, I'm not saying anything bad about these games. They're all wonderful games. People highly praise them. But if you look at this list, there's not like these huge games that you usually see,
Yeah,
right?
I had a feeling Deathloop was going to be up there, but not the rest. But before we talk about these games as well, I would like to point out that It Takes Two deserves a lot of
Okay.
awards. That is a. Have you played it yet? By the way,
No, but
it
didn't you
is
just hop on
one.
Game Pass?
It's on Game Pass. Well, it's on EA Play technically, but that's
Oh,
Game
okay.
Pass now. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's the best co-op game I've ever played in my life.
Okay.
It's just look. I mean, not counting games like Borderlands or Halo. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like this is built like you can't play a single player. This is built for two people.
Oh, okay.
Same way like A Way Out was two people. You can't
Mm-hmm.
like you have to have someone next to you. You know what I mean? Like the cutscenes happen on one screen and then it turns into split screen. It's like couch co-op. Like uh, I highly recommend playing it with your wife. It's
Mm-hmm.
super fun if you have a spare controller or something. It's very easy to get into. I was playing it with my lady friend and we were
Mm-hmm.
hooked. Like the story's good, but it's like the gameplay was fun, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's for a game built upon cooperative play. It's so fun because it's like you're these two different characters. You're a mom and a dad, and you're basically these little dolls because I guess you're gonna get a divorce and your daughter's like traumatized by it and she cried onto these puppets she made of you, and then you turn into these puppets and it's like throughout the journey it's them like learning to work with each other. And I never got to the end, so I don't know if they ended up going through with the divorce or not, or like if they made like I don't really know what happens, but I was like, what a like the backstory to it is so weird. But at the same time, you forget about that completely once you're in the game as a little rag doll
Mm-hmm.
throwing you're throwing nails at a talking vacuum cleaner that's upset at you because you never cleaned it. Yeah, like it's an out there game. I highly recommend it. It's on Game
Cool.
Pass. If you like co-op games, check it out.
I will check it
Um,
out.
but it's not Game of the Year material, in my opinion.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's a great game, but
Uh-huh.
by no means is it Game of the Year. You know what I mean? Like I think it deserves a lot of awards, but I wouldn't have nominated it for Game of the Year,
What
Unless I haven't seen the numbers. Maybe the numbers are huge, but I don't think the numbers are huge.
No. So the two big missing ones that people are complaining about are one I'm already mentioned, which is Forza Horizon 5, which I
Hmm.
think it deserved to be nominated, and Returnal. These are,
Yeah,
so there's no bias here. There's one is a Sony exclusive, one is a Xbox exclusive. Those two games were not nominated, and they are nominated in some other categories, which we're gonna go down. But anyways,
I'm
that's kind of the
surprised.
big.
The Spider-Man. Well, Spider-Man counts as this year's Game Awards or last year's?
I don't know, to be honest.
Because I'm surprised that the Miles Morales game
I'm
wasn't
guessing it
like
was.
announced or.
Yeah, I'm guessing that was last year. All right, so let me run through some of the bigger ones. So best game direction, Deathloop again. It Takes Two. Returnal makes its appearance here.
Hmm.
Psychonauts 2. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. So that's for best game direction. Best narrative,
Yeah,
Deathloop. It Takes Two. Life is Strange. True Colors. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Psychonauts 2. Best art.
that makes sense to me. Yeah.
Best art direction: Deathloop, Kenna Bridge of Spirits, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, The Artful Escape. Best score and music: we have Cyberpunk 2077. I'm sure last year they thought before it launched there was going to be all over this list, but it is not. Like for like Game of the Year, et cetera, et cetera. Deathloop, A Near Replicant. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, The Artful Escape. Let's see. I'm not
I
gonna
look.
read.
I want to point out as well. I loved Psychonauts 2. I still need to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
I played the crap out of the first game as a kid when it came out. So happy to have a sequel 20 years later or so.
Hmm.
Um, but man, it was nominated a lot. Like it's a good game, but like, does it deserve all these nominations? I don't know. You know, same with It Takes Two, also a great game, but look, I think Kenna only got one nomination, right?
Yeah, believe
Yeah,
so.
okay, got two. It was best indie game as well. Well, Kenna an indie game? Is it though?
I don't
I
know.
don't know, man. Loop Hero got a nominated for best
Um,
indie game, and I loved Loop Hero. And Loop Hero is like 8-bit. You know, it's not even. I think
mhm.
it's like 4-bit. It's got very very few bits. um,
No one else was clamoring for this, but for me, like The Ascent was one of my favorite games of the year, and that didn't get
mm,
nominated.
that should have been like nominated for like best indie or something. You know,
Yeah, I think it got
like
nominated for
not
like
Kenna.
I think it might have gotten something for like art design or something, but it didn't get like any of the big nominations. I'm not gonna read every single one just because there's just so many. But here,
Yeah.
best ongoing game, of course, Apex Legends, Call of Duty, Warzone, Final Fantasy 14 online, Fortnite, Genshin Impact. We know next year Halo
I
Infinite is
I
definitely
do,
making
by
this
the way, I
list.
want to point out, I think that Final Fantasy 14 is going to win best ongoing. Like, I'll put money on it that
Okay.
because they've had a tremendously successful year. They basically buried World of Warcraft before all these allegations came out of Blizzard. They basically buried World of Warcraft before, just from being popular and good.
Mm,
Um, I think well, it's either going to be Genshin Impact or Final Fantasy 14 in my opinion, because those are the two games that popped out the most like during the pandemic. You
mm-hmm.
know.
Well, yeah. All right. Best indie game: 12 Minutes, Death's Door, Kenna Bridge of Spirits, Inscription, Loop Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have
I
liked
enjoy
it.
I enjoyed Loop Hero. Loop Hero was fun. It's not going to win though, but it's a
Yeah,
fun game.
yeah.
I think I think maybe 12 minutes might win that. Hey, just because they have the acting as well.
I
Well, I
don't
guess there's a
know. I think
different
I
there's a
think it was
different
I think it was too controversial for some people. I think.
yeah. I'm oh, it's so weird because it's like look, I love Giancarlo
Mm-hmm.
and he got nominated for best performance, which he might end up winning, but it's like it's Giancarlo, man. Like, come on,
Yeah, for Far
how are
Cry
people supposed
6.
to compete? You know, it's like, look, there are some amazing voice actors out there, but they're not going to be better than Giancarlo, you know. And same with like, I'm surprised for best performance they didn't nominate anybody from 12 Minutes, you know, because it's once again celebrities doing video games,
Yeah,
and
I think because it didn't utilize any kind of like motion capture,
faces or
facial,
anything.
or
Yeah, they could.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was is purely a top down bird's eye view.
Well,
So you're really only doing the voices, which
the
were
voice acting, yeah, and the voice acting was so good, so you didn't even. It doesn't even sound like them, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. Speaking of performance, we had Erica Mori for Life is Strange. You
Hmm.
mentioned Giancarlo Esposito for Far Cry 6, Jason E. Kelly for Deathloop, Maggie Robertson for Resident Evil Village, and Oziyama Akaga for
Yeah,
Deathloop.
for Deathloop again. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, I can't read all of these. Okay, best VR/AR game: Hitman 3, I Expect You to Die 2, Lone Echo 2, Resident Evil 4, Sniper Elite VR.
Wow. I didn't even know Hitman 3 was VR. I'm so out of the loop. Holy crap.
Yeah, I think they did like a port of the game. I didn't play it. I Expect
Yeah.
You to Die. I've played the first one. I didn't play the second one yet. Lone Echo 2 was kind of very anticipated by the VR community. It's not on the Quest though. It's PC only. Because
Yeah,
the
I can
graphics
use
are.
the link cable though.
Yeah, yeah. Resident Evil 4 was well received. The port of the very popular Resident Evil
It
game.
was actually. I remember that. Yeah, there was good reviews.
And Sniper Elite VR, which I also played. I played Resident Evil 4 and I played Sniper Elite VR, and those were, both very
Mm.
well done. Much, larger games than kind of some of your typical. Because a lot of VR games are like indie games, and these are, maybe not huge. Well, I mean, Resident Evil, yes, huge too. But
I
what's up?
I can't believe Chivalry 2 got nominated for Best Action Game. What the actual? I don't want to swear, but what the fuck? Like, did I miss something? Did they fix Chivalry 2 because people were abandoning those servers because the game was so unbalanced?
I did
I
not
must they
play it.
must have fixed it without me knowing for them to have been put on this list. But wow, like when's the last time you heard somebody talk about Chivalry 2? You know?
No.
Years.
Yeah. Back for Blood is up for best action game as well. Chivalry 2, which you mentioned, Deathloop, Far Cry 6, and Returnal. Best action adventure game, you have Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Metroid Dread, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village, Psychonauts 2. Best RPG, here we go. Cyberpunk 2077 made that list. Monster Hunter Rise, Scarlet Nexus, Shin Megami Tensei V.
Oh, hold up.
Or 5, sorry.
Hold up.
What's up?
I had to look it up. Sorry. I confused Chivalry 1 with Chivalry 2.
Oh, okay.
Chivalry 2 came out earlier this year. I didn't even know.
Okay. Tales of Arise.
Old game was bad. Tales of Arise was amazing.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like, if people
mean,
are looking for a good action, like a good like action anime-esque game, definitely play Tales of Arise. Collaborated with a bunch of other anime too to get like skins in and weapon skins. It's really good.
Now to backtrack a little bit, we had kind of predicted, obviously. I mean, Halo Infinite's a lock. Maybe not to win, but at least Halo for be nominated for best ongoing game. Do you think a game like New World is gonna hop onto that list at all, or is it like has the New World craze kind of died out?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it's died down, but not died out.
Okay.
People I mean, it's because there's a lot of top streamers still playing the game and still committed to the game, and they're fixing things and balancing things. I enjoyed the game. I played it quite a lot, but I kind of fell off the game. It's one of those games where I want to get back into it again. But it's one of those games that I think even if it like falls off, I think it's gonna show up again like a year or two later and be amazing. Like because you think of Final Fantasy 14. That game is praised and pretty much worshipped by a lot of people nowadays. And the launch for Final Fantasy 14 was trash. They had to revamp it, which is literally why if you play Final Fantasy now, it's Final Fantasy 14: A Realm Reborn. They call it A Realm Reborn because the original drop of Final Fantasy 14 was that freaking bad that they had to revamp it completely and fix the game. So, New World is great as for what it is right now. Give it a year and it'll be amazing. I do hope that they come up with because look, with MMOs, you need more flashy gear, and I hope that they come up with more flashy gear. The thing about the era they chose is that you can't really do super flashy outfits, but hopefully they can find a way to incorporate that and make really cool end game looking gear. That's the one thing I think that they're missing. But the game's fun. It's got a bit of everything for everyone. I think that'll be nominated eventually, but it will lose to Halo. But but it will get nominated.
Yeah. All right. Best fighting game: Demon Slayer, Guilty Gear, Melty Blood, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, Virtual Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. So the best fighting game, best family game: It Takes Two, Mario Party Superstar. Yeah, Mario Party Superstars.
This is a strong list. Holy crap! Yeah,
New Pokemon Snap.
Superstars.
Yeah. Super Mario
These
3D
are all
World.
good.
WarioWare.
Oh, they're all Nintendo games except for It Takes Two.
Yeah.
They're all Nintendo games. That tells you. I mean, Nintendo is family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be it their business practices are archaic, but hey, Nintendo is family.
Yeah. Here we go. Maybe this one will mix into another topic we're going to talk about, which is best sports/racing game. F1 2021, FIFA 22. So they've mixed sports and racing together, which is kind of weird to me because they're really different. Hot Wheels Unleashed, Forza Horizon 5, Riders Republic. So Forza Horizon 5 is in here, and
how the hell do you compare Forza to FIFA?
Because it's sport/racing. They're saying racing is a sport, and that's what I'm saying. They should not be one, but it is. Sports should be
such different games.
Yes,
though.
it
I
should
get
be
watching. If I was watching sports and racing, I would put on TV. I'd put that in the same genre. But a gameplay, it's so different.
Yeah. FIFA should be competing against NBA 2K22 and all that stuff. But anyways, this goes into big one. I think Forza Horizon 5 is going to be a lock to win this. But it did not get recognition in the best game of the year, and having played it, I think and a lot of people, this isn't just me, a lot of people were saying this online, was where the hell's Forza Horizon 5? Just because it's a racing game? I don't even like racing games, and this game is one of the best games of the year for me. Like, I feel like Forza
I will
Horizon
say
5.
a
Yeah, go ahead.
strong competitor would be F1 2021. I haven't played it, but it was very well received. It's been a while since it launched. Obviously, it came
Mm-hmm.
out like end of last year. I could be wrong,
Mm.
or beginning of this year. But that is a great game from what I've been told. I have a lot for I don't have a PS5, but I got friends who have a PS5, and it's like the only game they play is Formula One.
Yeah.
Mainly because of the lack of exclusives, but um, but they're still playing Formula One.
Dude,
But I think Forza Horizon 5 is going to win purely off of the backlash because they should have had more nominations. So I think they're going to give Forza the win. Not it does deserve the win, but they're going to give it the win. 50% out of it deserving it, and 50% out of like, oh, let's keep people happy.
yeah. I mean, let's mix this with we'll continue on with some of the other nominations, but let's mix this with
Yeah.
another topic that we were going to talk about, which was Forza Horizon 5. It is the Xbox Game Studios' biggest launch ever. Obviously, Halo's going to, surpass that in a month. I mean, I don't know if it's already surpassed it or not, but anyways, they've already had like over, and this is like, these aren't updated stats, but there's over like 5 million players that have played it on PC, cloud, and console. I think it's more than that by now. It's huge. It's the biggest game on Game Pass. It's the biggest Xbox Game Studios launch. Metacritic, it's like 90 something. IGN gave it 10 out of 10. We've talked about before. I played it. I told you I am not a racing fan. I don't play racing games. I don't play driving games. I don't like them when they appear in other games. This game got me hooked, man. Because it caters towards not just racing, but this whole world of, and I'm sure the other Forza games have this as well, but at least for me, this is my first one. The whole package of being able to explore. There's like a storyline, right? There's a storyline. There's upgrading your different cars, and you can go search for stuff. One of my favorite things to do is search for the hidden barns. Swapping your cars, getting a house in different locations, different types of racing, right? You have, the street racing. You have the dirt racing. You have the off-road. You have like, I don't know. For me, it's like the complete package. It's like
It's just fun,
Yeah, it's
just
addicting
fun.
and fun.
At no point in time does it either feel like sweaty either. Like if you're like some racing games are fun in a different way where they're super competitive.
Mm-hmm.
This is like casual competitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, you'll have some races that are sweaty, but you can, like you said, you can switch in between whatever you want.
Yeah, that's what I do. It's like, oh, do I want to go do this, or do I want to actually race? Do I want to search for this? Do I want to, and they also put in the elements of, spinning, a wheel to earn either money or credits and or cars or emotes or sounds, which is fine because none of it is. You don't have to pay for that stuff. You just keep playing. You just grind through the game, and then you use that what you earn to buy other stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Very addictive. Definitely one of my games of the year. How much have you played of it so far?
Not that much because I got hooked to Halo. Like I played it quite a bit like that week, but now like I still play Valorant every single day because I love that game. But now it's like when I'm not playing Valorant, I'm playing
Halo.
I like talking about this though has given me a craving to play some Forza, but I'm probably gonna play Halo instead after this.
Yeah,
But it's a great game. It's gonna be there forever. It's on Game Pass. It's like it's not leaving. You know what I mean? It's never gonna leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like it's a fun game. Like I said, it runs really smooth on our rigs as well. Once optimized, it runs super smooth. It's a decent game. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a blast. I'm gonna keep playing it. Yes, I was playing it like a lot last week. Then Halo dropped. That's why I'm kind of mad that Halo dropped. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have time with this game before Halo, right? Another 3 weeks. I think like another 3 weeks, I would have been like, not that I would be done with the game, but I'd be like, okay, I've had my fill of Forza, and I actually haven't had my fill of Forza yet. I still want to play it, but then now Halo's got me addicted too, So,
Yeah.
I wonder if one day Forza is going to be like a free to play version. Man.
I mean, no, because there's no real good monetization in it, you know?
Well, the cars, they can do the cars.
True, true. Especially
Yeah.
with future cars, you know?
Well, and also
Like new cars dropping in.
also the customization. I remember right now that it's the community based in terms of the customization designs, and you can design cars yourself too. You can design like the paint jobs and the designs for the cars. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe not. I don't care either way. I'm just thinking out loud here. All right, let's go back to the nominations. Strategy, best sim/strategy game: Age of Empires 4, Evil Genius 2, Humankind, Inscription, Microsoft Flight Simulator. Yeah, a lot of
I think
games.
it's between Flight Simulator and Age of Empires there.
Probably. I played some
Humankind,
Humankind.
what? Humankind was good though. Yeah, I played it because you recommended it.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I mean, let's see here. Best multiplayer game. We got Back for Blood, It Takes Two, Knockout City, Monster Hunter Rise, New World, and Valheim. So you got New World and Valheim here in the best multiplayer game.
You know what is the most surprising thing is they did it not. There's no Valorant. Oh, here we go. Best esports game. Yeah, I was about to say because like a lot of the esports like a lot of the players that were announced, I was like, these are Valorant. Like Tyson. Tyson, I think. Yeah, he's up there for who might win best esports athlete. Tens is, I think he's up there. Tens and Simple. They're like those are my two. Those are who I would put my money on.
Yeah, esports athlete. We have Chris Simp Lair, Heo Showmaker Sue, Magamod Collapse Kalilov, Alexander Simple Kostelyov, Leave, Tyson
Yeah.
Tens, no.
Go. Well, I don't know. I don't know
They
how you pronounce
pronounce. I think it's no because
He's Asian,
in
yeah.
Vietnamese NG is like the G is
Okay,
silent,
then,
like
yeah, I think that's what it
win.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So best esports event, the International 2021 League of Legends World Championship, Valorant Champions Tour Stage 2 Masters,
Yeah.
PGL Major Stockholm 2021, and PUBG Mobile Global Championship 2020.
I'll tell you right now, Dennis. I don't know who's gonna win, but it's gonna be Riot. It's gonna be either League of Legends or Valorant. I can tell you that right now. They're both the same company, so
Yeah.
good for them.
Esports game, which you mentioned. Here we go. Call of Duty, CS:GO, Dota 2, League of Legends, and Valorant.
Well, we know Call of Duty's not gonna be
No.
winning. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think CS:GO is gonna win because Valorant is newer and CS:GO is still more popular, but it's just one of those things where I would see Valorant winning more than CS:GO. They're essentially the same game, by the way. Essentially, just very different art styles. And with Valorant, you choose agents, which locks in your role. With CS:GO, anybody could be anybody because you just buy your flashes or you buy your smokes. Dota 2 and League of Legends, between those two, it's always tough. It's always tight. But with the success of Arcane, more people are playing, which is the League of Legends TV show on Netflix, and it is amazing.
It's getting a lot of good reviews. The animation style is unique. It's different than.
They've been dropping 3 episodes at a time. And the last 3 episodes are getting dropped in a few days. I think 2 days from now. I'm really looking forward to it.
I only started the first one. Oh, to sidetrack a little bit, but semi-related is remember I told you I started Witcher, but I never really got going with it. I restarted
the series or the game.
The series, the Netflix series,
okay.
with Henry Cavill. I restarted again, and I'm quite enjoying it. I'm already like more than halfway through. I think I'm like on episode 4 or 5.
Well, you got another 6 seasons to look forward to because they're locked in for 7 seasons.
Are they? That's crazy.
Yep. Henry Cavill said he's super committed. He's like, hell yeah, I'm there for all. Well, mind you, Henry Cavill loves The Witcher, so he's like, I'm there to do all 7 seasons.
Okay.
But yeah, supposedly it's going to be 7 seasons.
I'm just happy.
I'm ready for it.
I'm happy. I enjoy it, and I'm almost caught up because the season 2 is coming out next month. So it'll be a nice, surprise for me.
Hold on, while we're at it, real quick, because I got to go back to this article. He said he's committed to the Witcher's 7 season plan on one condition. So what is this? As long as we can keep. Oh, that's kind.
What?
He said on one condition. It's actually cheesy. He said as long as we can keep telling great stories
Oh,
which honor Sapkowski's work. That's
okay.
actually sweet. That's actually sweet. So he said he's committed to doing it as long as they obviously keep pulling it off
Yeah, and paying him good money. So.
and paying him good. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty sure. I mean, The Witcher is one of the reasons why I actually end up like kind of giving it another chance was because learning that it like in terms of like all time. Obviously, Squid Game is the number one watched thing on Netflix ever, but when I looked at that before that, it was Bridgerton, and then before that, like Witcher was up there. I didn't, to be honest, for me at least in this online kind of circles, I guess I run into, like I didn't hear that much. I mean, there was obviously they were talking about that toss a coin to your Witcher was a big meme.
A lot of people watched it that don't have any idea as to what the hell The Witcher is. My parents watched it and they loved it, and I'd never told them to watch it. I never told them about it. They have no idea that it's based on a video game that's based on a book. They just watched. They were like, "Oh, The Witcher, this looks cool," and they watched it and they loved it.
Yeah.
So there's also you got to keep in mind to all the people who use Netflix who don't know about the game, like they'll watch it too.
Yeah.
As long as it's as soon as it's in that top 10 list, they'll click on it.
Oh, that thing is gold. That thing's worth millions in free advertising. Yes.
Yeah, like honestly, like oh my god. Not gaming related, but yeah, Red Notice broke numbers for being like the biggest launch movie on Netflix.
Yeah, and it's a very. I mean, I'll be honest here. It's a mediocre movie, right? It's not like a horrible movie, but it's not an excellent movie. Like
I think Netflix is going to come out with a lot of B movies like that, because I just saw a trailer today for another movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, Jonah Hill, Jennifer Lawrence. And it's like about like these two scientists telling. Oh,
that one looks hilarious. That looks
kind of funny. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yeah.
With Red Notice for me, it
still looks like a B movie, but it's going to be super funny.
I think it can work though versus like an action drama or whatever.
But I'm saying in terms of budget as well. Like it's not a high budget Hollywood movie. It's going to be funny though. Look, Leonardo DiCaprio and Jonah Hill, I'm just happy to see them in a movie together again. Yeah. I wasn't too happy with what I saw of Jennifer Lawrence's character or acting, but it was just one clip. So it would be rude of me to make opinions based off of that,
Yeah. All right. Going back to best esports team, Atlanta FaZe, Call of Duty, DWG, KIA, League of Legends.
Sentinels!
Navi, CSGO. Team Spirit, Dota 2, and Sentinels, Valorant. So.
Hell yeah. I think Sentinels is pretty up there. Well, it's either going to be Atlanta FaZe or Sentinels. Sentinels grew in popularity the past year, like massively. Yeah. No, good for them, man. I'm honestly actually really happy they got nominated. That puts like a smile on my face.
So this one I always think is a little weird. This is the last one, so that we can move on. We've already gone up about an hour, and we're like only like halfway through our stuff. But most anticipated game, because it's you're basically awarding a game for looking like it's gonna be good. Doesn't mean the game is good. Weird. It's almost like an Oscar for best trailer. You know what I mean, right? It's like you're making the movie look good. Here's your award. So it's something a little fun, right? It's fun. I just don't know
two of these games we've barely seen footage of. Like the sequel to Legend of Zelda and Starfield, we've barely they both have the same amount of like footage.
Yes.
It's so I think that either Elden Ring or Horizon would win this.
I think Elden Ring's winning.
Yeah, look, people are hyped for Elden Ring, dude.
Yeah.
People are I'm excited for Elden Ring. I have been doing more research on that, and I think it was one of the guys in our Discord was hoping it would be a bit easier, but supposedly it will still be Dark Souls hard. But it'll get you the level of entry is different, so it'll warm up to that level. I'm hoping, you know what I mean? Instead of just throwing you right in and be like, hey, look, here's death waiting for you the first minute, which is Dark Souls. Dark Souls, like, oh, you're gonna die. A lot of Dark Souls games and Bloodborne, like it's incorporated where it's like the first thing you have to do is die in order to realize how the game works,
But yeah, Elden Ring, God of War, Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, the sequel to, they don't even have a name, the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Starfield. I mean, these are all great games. I just think it's funny. It's basically hype. Basically, what game is most hype to you, you know? So
it's a popularity contest. Well, I mean, this entire thing is a popularity contest, I suppose.
Yeah. All right, so that's it for gaming nominations. The actual awards are next month, so we will be able to see that. What's the actual date on that? I like how the article does not actually list when the. Here we go. Oh, December 9th. Wow, it's going to be at Microsoft Theater. That's going to be the day after Halo Infinite launches.
Drops, yeah.
Yeah. So, cool. We talked about Forza. This one you sent me, which is that game, WB's Multiverses. Yeah. Came out.
I love the roster. Well, because we spoke about this last week. We said it was rumored,
I think it maybe a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it was rumored, but it came from a very trusted source, and here we are. They dropped the trailer today. It kind of looks more like the Nickelodeon version that came out, the Nickelodeon All Stars. It has a similar, I'd say, art style. Well, I guess they're both Western cartoons, so
and they're copying Smash Bros. Right? It's just just a free to play Smash Bros. With different licenses.
Well, they're copying the genre, if you will.
Yeah.
So, it's not really copying. It's just, they're making more game, which is good. It's for a long time, it was just Smash Bros. Eventually, Brawlhalla got in. I really enjoy Brawlhalla, free to play. And then, now there's 4. Before that, it was just 2, It's like, imagine if there was only ever one racing game for the past 20 years. It'd be weird, So thank God that there are new because it also adds competition. Because in my opinion, with all these Smash Bro, Smash Bro copies coming out, the next Smash Bros, they're gonna be like, oh, we gotta step things up. You know what I mean? Competition breeds innovation.
Yeah.
So it's good for that sake, yeah. But roster, I mean, it's gonna be weird. Batman beating up Rick Sanchez, who is the roster is so out there. I love
Arya Stark surprised me. I was like, well, where did Arya Stark come from?
Right? You know? Yeah. It's so out there, man. You could Bugs Bunny, freaking Bugs Bunny, man. I'm not a fan of those type of games, mainly because I didn't grow up. Nintendo was really not popular in South Africa. People didn't hate it. We just didn't get gaming consoles during that era, mainly because we were, every other country. We weren't even allowed to participate in the Olympics. Countries hated us, because we still had segregation. So it's a fair thing to be hated for. Until 1993. So it was literally only after 1993 did we start doing better with international trade and getting things in. The big console boom was the original PlayStation. The big one, I'm not talking about the PS1 small, until big giant PlayStation console, the original one. But nobody I knew played that game growing up, and I think that is a big part of the success behind Smash is that a lot of people grew up playing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll be honest.
For me, it's a difficult game to get into if you've never played before.
I'm not really into the genre. I've played it a few times, some Smash Bros. It's just not for me. It's fun as a casual, hey, there's some people over. But I'm not going to play this. It's free to play. It's I'm not saying the game is going to be bad. It looks like it's a lot of fun. It's just not for me.
I think it'll be fun. Yeah,
it's not for me.
They put an emphasis on co-op more than the other games.
Yeah,
they put having abilities work together. So so that's the one thing that kind of sets it apart is using abilities together and stuff like that. It looks like it'll be fun. I have a lot of friends who I'll ask their opinion about this and we can talk about it next week because I have a lot of friends who are die hard for that genre. But even if it's free, I'm not going to play it because it's just not for me. Like country music. I'm sure there's great country music out there. It's just not for me.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next thing. Man, I can't believe this is this far down the list, but Star Wars, a new Star Wars game we had talked about potentially leaked. I think they're gonna make that announcement early December as well about the new Star Wars game we had talked about in a previous podcast.
because we saw Well, we're
Yeah.
estimating that is when
So
they're going
and
to.
maybe it's
Yeah.
this one, which is the rumors about Quantic Dream working on an open world Star Wars game. So there's some leaks about like some photoshops. Or sorry, not photoshops. Just leaks about what this game is going to be like. That it is going to be set in the High Republic era, which is kind of the new era that Disney and Lucasfilm is kind of focusing on
Yeah.
now. The books, the games, like everything is like, okay, here's an area that really hasn't been explored yet, and it's also something that's not going to, I guess, interfere with what they're doing right now with the Mandalorian, with the Boba Fett show. Who knows what they're going to do for potential sequels. But anyways, this takes place. It's supposed to be kind of the Jedi Golden Age. So, yeah, I'm all for a new open world Star Wars game. Checking that out. It's not an official announcement. This is just kind of
Yeah. I mean, we will obviously be getting Knights of the Old Republic before this because that has been announced. So in terms of like games coming, Star Wars games coming out, we're first going to get the Knights of the Old Republic remake.
Yeah. Which I'm much looking forward to. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if it's a remake or a reboot because I know that they're changing some things for canon. So I don't know if it's considered a reboot or not, particularly if they're changing certain lore.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then obviously at some point in time we're gonna have a sequel to Jedi Fallen Order.
Mm-hmm. So also we got okay, man, we got so much stuff.
I know I've still got a lot too, which is crazy.
Okay, this one is, I think, be quick, but just quickly has to be said. And I predicted this in a previous podcast. Elder Scrolls 6, it's not official, but it's pretty much like
it's pretty official.
Yeah,
it's pretty much.
It's going to be an Xbox/PC exclusive. My reasons that I gave were that it's going to be so far off from when they're going to launch that with Starfield already coming out next year, people are already going to be used to these Bethesda exclusive games that by the time it comes out, there's no point in putting it in another platform.
Exactly. Like to reiterate, we would be lucky to get this game in 6 years from now. You know what I mean? It's a while off.
Yeah.
Like we're not like this game is not going to come out in the next 6 years. Yeah. And from my like guesstimate, look, they said that they've started working on the lore and stuff like that for Elder Scrolls 6, but right now their main priority is Starfield. They get that out, they work on the Elder Scrolls 6. After they do the Elder Scrolls 6, maybe they'll go back to Fallout, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So anyways, basically in an interview with Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, he basically said when he in terms of Elder Scrolls 6, he said, it's not about punishing any other platform. Like, I fundamentally believe all of the platforms can continue to grow. But in order to be on Xbox, I want us to be able to bring the full, complete package of what we have. And that would be true when I think about Elder Scrolls 6. That would be true when I think about any of our franchises. Now, when they first announced kind of the Bethesda being purchased, they said, well, Xbox/PC is going to be the best place that you're going to play Elder Scroll, or not Elder Scroll, but like these franchises. But they didn't necessarily say that it was going to be the only. Now they're like, no, it makes sense.
I remember Todd Howard saying they're going to fight it. He was like, we're going to fight it. And I was like,
dude,
and for me, that sounded like a kid saying, oh, we're totally going to have a party at my house. And then the mom was like, no, you're not.
yeah, exactly. Like he's counting his checks, man. He's not,
exactly.
They bought Bethesda because of the IP. They bought them so they could deliver these exclusive games. And look at the success of Forza Horizon, 5, and now Halo Infinite. Obviously, Halo Infinite was already huge, but I think Forza has taken itself to another level. And Bethesda is like already on that another level, their games. Hopefully, we'll see how
look at how many times Skyrim got re-released. Xbox wants that money. If Elder Scrolls 6 is as good and also gets re-released for 10 years after that, Xbox will be making that money,
Yeah, and they want them on, Game Pass.
On Game Pass,
that's the whole thing. Cloud gaming Game Pass. That is the future, which I
I
guess
was gonna say, yeah, moving forward, like when this game comes out with cloud gaming, it doesn't matter if you don't have a PlayStation. You can probably play it on your phone,
yeah,
with a controller. At that point, like cloud gaming will be here when this
yeah.
game comes out,
Okay, I'm gonna move two topics to this because these two are related, and I think they kind of come hand in hand. So, we speaking of Xbox Game Service, they had mentioned that before Netflix became a thing, a big thing, Xbox Game Pass was going to be a rental service. So it was going to be like, okay,
Yeah, like GameFly. Like, do you remember GameFly?
yeah, but this was going to be online game service. So it was going to be like you log in and you can rent a game, you download it and you play it, for
Hmm.
X amount of time. So and then now, but then because of the success of Netflix, they were like, okay, let's make this an all-you-can-eat buffet for a certain price instead of like, I'm gonna rent this game for $5, right? Like instead of like, oh, I'm gonna rent Halo Infinite for $5 for I don't know how many days, 3 days, 4 days, or
Hmm.
whatever the price point that they were gonna do. So
I'm
that's
I'm glad they didn't though, just to reiterate, because if you think about it as well, indie games would have died. Like
yeah.
most indie games, you could rent them and then finish them within like like an hour or two, and then you'd never rent it again.
Yeah, and they're saying that the way that Game Pass works now allows games to actually succeed over the long haul because usually when it's just buying games, they said 75% of a game's revenue is made in the first 2 months of release. But now Game Pass allows the games to kind of be played over years,
Yeah, longevity. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then another thing that was related to this is, a lot of people have been speculating, especially, and this isn't going to be, a totally unbiased opinion, but a lot of Sony. Remember we talked about the X, like Sony had said, oh, Microsoft needs to have X amount of subscribers to make money or to keep afloat or whatever. Anyways, Phil Spencer said basically that Game Pass is very, very sustainable and is continuing to grow.
Oh yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean they're in the black. Like they may still be losing money, but I don't think they're losing money at the rate that people think they are, where they're just bleeding money. It sounds more like, yeah, we're losing money, but eventually that's going to turn. People,
As soon as that cloud gaming comes out, man, it is good. We're going to see millions of people move to the service.
yeah,
All those mobile gamers that can now finally play like high-end games on their iPad and cell phone for like $5 a month. They're gonna boom. They are gonna become a behemoth.
yeah. So, yeah, it doesn't, mean they're totally like making tons and tons of money, but they are definitely on the right track. They eventually will start turning a profit.
In this industry, sometimes you got to take a loss to win.
That's Amazon. Amazon is one of the biggest companies in the world.
Exactly.
Amazon lost money for years, like more than a decade. They were losing money.
Hmm.
Eventually, and Netflix the same, right? That's just how it is.
Exactly. Like I mean, we talk about it all the time. Most consoles are sold at a loss.
Oh yeah, to get the licensing fees.
Just exactly. Like you. That's why a lot of people like the argument with the PC Master Race is like, oh, but you can get this sick console for this price, and it's like to be able to build a PC that could run it the same would cost more.
Mhm.
But it's like I guess most people don't know it's because they sell the consoles at a loss.
Yeah,
You know.
and that's why
The only-
there's.
Yeah,
That's
the
why
only
there's
console I think that didn't get sold at a loss was the PS4. They only made a profit of $3 per
Yeah.
console.
Yeah.
That doesn't count, you know.
It's not the point. They're trying to break even, but that's why there's
Exactly,
the big
yeah.
push
They're trying to break even,
to cloud gaming and Game Pass, so that eventually that material cost is not coming out of their pocket, right? They're not losing
Instead,
that
they're
net.
just gonna have to have servers, like an ass load of servers, and which
Yeah.
is like easier to maintain. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like one of those
It's
things.
it's more scalable than like
Yeah.
okay, for example, look at the issue we have right now. Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 are in such high demand that you cannot buy. Can't go to the store and buy them, right?
Mm.
They don't even have
PS5
games.
PS5 stopped production, by
Yeah.
the way. I know we didn't mention that, but they stopped production
But
currently because of the chip
but
shortage.
think about that. They're so popular. They don't even have that many games. Neither console has, exclusive games that you can play. But yet they're that popular. Now, doing the cloud gaming and Game Pass, now you can kind of get rid of that, right? So now it's from day one,
Exactly.
you're just playing games off of whatever streaming,
Hell, you still use your old ass consoles,
yeah,
especially if it's like supported through the Edge browser, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. So
Like you can literally be using your freaking PlayStation 4 or your Xbox One in like 20 years from now, technically, just as a device to receive the streaming. You know what I mean?
mhm,
I mean, like you said, eventually people are just going to be getting little dongles you plug into your TVs. You know what I mean? Mainly to be able to have a receiver for a controller.
yeah. All right, let's move. Look how far down this was on the list. Battlefield 2042.
Oh yeah, and the
Man,
horrendous launch.
yeah,
Well, I
it
mean, it's
is.
not really the launch, isn't it? It's like beta, or is it the launch? Or no, I
Um,
think it is the launch. People
it
were just they
is.
were having issues before the launch, anyways.
Yeah, they were having issues before with the beta, and yeah, it has not been very well received. It
There's
is.
the stupidest glitch I saw was you can ride the hovercrafts up the buildings. Like because of the way that the hovercraft was built, it just sticks to the side of buildings, and this
Mhm.
is not supposed to be a thing. And you can just drive your hovercraft up the side of a skyscraper. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like there was so many dumb
There's
freaking
a lot of glitch.
so much dumb stuff.
So technically, it doesn't come out until tomorrow. However, people have been playing it in early access. There was betas before. It's just not delivering what people thought it was going to
Yeah.
be. It's very ambitious. There's
First impressions count, Dennis. Look at Anthem. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Look, Anthem by no means later on fixed it, but literally like the day or two after the launch of Anthem, they had a huge patch that fixed most of the issues. But at that time, it was too late. And they dug their grave already because of the bad launch. You know?
Yeah, people are yeah, not being kind to this. I mean, the ultimately the reviews from sites aren't saying it's like trash, but the users are just trashing it for all
Well,
the
I mean, in
bugs.
comparison, it's in beta. I mean, tomorrow it launches. It's in beta. It has all these glitches. It's not playing very well. And in comparison, Halo is in beta and killing it. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Well, that's the thing is
So,
when the test flights came out for Halo, it was already super rock solid. So you were like,
mm,
cool. If they've got it this good, then by launch time it's going to be fine. We know there'll always be some bugs here and there or whatever, but there
yeah,
wasn't a big issue during the beta. There's not any issues right now or nothing major.
yeah.
And this was, they had their beta, what was it, a month ago, a month and a half
hmm
ago, and there was already tons of issues, and people were like, "There's no way they're gonna turn it around," even though they claim like, "Okay, this is old code and an old build from X amount of time ago," but it's like you're not gonna close that gap that fast, even if it is an older build and you have a newer build. It's just not what happens. Anyways, so it is, yeah. Things
I
are
will
not.
say, I hope that it does get fixed because
Mhm.
in terms of games, Battlefield is more my type of game than Halo. And we
Okay.
spoke about Halo so much in the beginning of this video and how much we're
Mhm.
praising it, and I love the game. But in terms of action, just in terms of games,
Mhm.
I loved Battlefield 4.
Mhm.
Played the absolute crap out of Battlefield 4. It has local servers in South Africa, which is super rare for a game. Um, and I enjoy it. So I really do hope that they can turn this around. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, but hopefully, like like half a year from now, I can come back. I can come back to Battlefield 2042 and have a fantastic time. I really hope that that's the case, because it's like I love these 64 players against 64 players, like big
Mhm.
maps. I love it. You know what I mean? The idea of this game is amazing. And having the tornado involved and like I this game could like if they executed it well, I think this game would have done amazingly.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully
So
they polish it because I do want to play this game.
yeah, I mean, to be honest, like they had a free 10-hour trial for
Mm,
Game Pass users through EA
yeah,
Play. I didn't do it. I mean, I didn't want to
I didn't
download.
either. I literally saw it as well, and I didn't do
I
it.
mean, like
I was
what?
like,
Like
it's like why? And I wouldn't do it now.
yeah,
Like especially now, knowing with all these glitches and stuff. Like why would
yeah,
I do it now?
yeah,
It's gonna take up hard drive space. I'm gonna play
yeah,
for an
yeah,
hour, rage, and then leave. Like
yeah.
I'll do the 10 hour thing when I know it's fixed. If it's still there, that is.
Yeah, we'll see. With Halo and Forza, no hard drive space, no time to play, and with the reviews not being very good, there's no incentive, right?
There's no exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing is everything's competing for players' time, actually, a person's time nowadays. When it comes to entertainment, video games, movies, television, streaming services, all this stuff, free to play games, mobile games, all this stuff, and it's become a world where it's like, if you aren't motivated enough to do it, think about it this way: there's tons of games that you have on Game Pass that you want to play, but
You just don't have the time,
yeah, it's not a money issue, it's a time issue, it's a whatever, because you're already paying that fee. So yeah, anyways.
Man, I'm literally looking at these like gifs of some of the issues, and there's literally like a clip of somebody just consecutively like shooting somebody, but the bullets are just going straight through them.
Yeah.
Like, and doing like you're just watching this guy like just doing headshot after headshot, but it's not, the bullets are just going right through the enemy and doing nothing. And then server issues, and yeah, it's not worth it, man.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to this one. PS5 is a year old now, and they have 25 exclusives that are currently in development. That's a good amount.
That's a very good amount. Yeah.
We talk a lot about Xbox and all the studios they bought, but PlayStation's got a lot as well. I mean, they've got a lot of.
Oh yeah, Gran Turismo 7. Sorry for my ADD brain. I completely forgot about the entire Gran Turismo freaking
franchise.
Series and franchise. Holy crap!
I mean,
that's
that was
Sony exclusive. Always has been. I forgot.
I mean, that was the original hardcore game that people.
Yeah.
I know friends of mine bought a PlayStation just so they could play Gran Turismo. Why they didn't buy Xbox was because Sony has Gran Turismo, so that's why they bought a PlayStation.
Yeah. Look, I think Gran Turismo still is going to be that. Gran Turismo is the kind of game that you want to buy a rig for. You know what I mean? You want to get an actual driving rig built in. Like, that's the kind of game, like, you go hardcore, It's going to have hardcore fans,
it's a much more
fans.
of a hardcore car enthusiast. See, that's the thing with Forza and why Horizon I like it so much is I'm not a car enthusiast.
It's an accessible game, yeah.
Yeah,
a lot of
it's
people
just
can play
fun. Gran Turismo.
It's similar to driving in other games like GTA. You know what I mean? If you can drive in GTA, you can drive in Forza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, a lot of good games. We got God of War, Ragnarok. We have Horizon Forbidden West. They bought the Returnal developer House Marquee. So we're gonna probably see some of that. We know,
but like we don't know 25 exclusives, which means that there's still a lot that still needs to be announced.
Yeah, I mean, we have the next Spider-Man game. Obviously, is a big one as well. Let's see what they do with the Last of Us franchise. We know Ghost of Tsushima 2 will eventually come out on the PlayStation 5. So a lot of great titles. It's just a different approach, right, with Sony versus. The question is, are they ever going to get to the point where they're going to have to? Right now, they don't have to because they're still so popular. They're still the number one console. But I wonder if it ever gets to a point where they aren't anymore, and they're like, "Damn, we got to make PS." Is it PS Now or is it PS Now? Right?
PS Now, yeah, it's their streaming service.
Yeah. Okay, I always get confused with PS Now and PS Plus.
Keep in mind, it's not like Game Pass. Oh, actually, no, you can download the games.
Yeah, it's like Game Pass.
When the service first came out, you could only stream it. You know what I mean? But now you can download it or stream it. You can choose.
Yes.
If you stream it, you will be playing a lot. Like, you can stream PS4 games, but it's at a much lower resolution.
Yeah.
But it streams PS3 games like a charm.
Yeah.
I love platformer games, and the last time I had PlayStation Now, I played every single Ratchet and Clank game that I could on that service, and I had a great time. And that was back when PS Now was $20 a month, by the way. I mind you, $20 a month, Dennis.
Yeah.
Thank God Game Pass came out just so that Sony can drop their freaking price and match it.
I mean, yeah, the issue isn't really the streaming or the downloading. It's that they don't have day one exclusives on there, and they don't plan on doing it. They still have the model of, when a big game comes out like God of War Ragnarok, that people are just purchasing it without,
and they will. They will. That's exactly that's going to be the case for at least another like 2 or 3 years. But with cloud gaming on the rise, that'll change up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Along with you had mentioned the PS5, the production of consoles is due to the shortage of
The chip
parts.
shortage.
Yeah, which goes into our next topic, which is Steam Deck delayed until February 2022. So that Valve handheld console, which uses the Steam kind of interface. Because also there are equipment shortages, material shortages.
It just is what it is, unfortunately. Crypto is never gonna die. So crypto mining is never gonna die. It's just, it is what it is, man.
Yeah, so unfortunate. Like I said, they were originally planned to release in December as like this Christmas gifty thing for people. The price is very competitive. Like I said,
I hope in the future, this is such a grim thing to talk about, but I hope in the future, people like Nvidia will have a thing where it's like you need to like have an account with the website so that you can like order it, instead of like if you have an account and you order 20 graphics cards, then they're going to be like, oh wait, hold on. Like, so they can at least limit the amount of sales, because it's like, it's just, man, it has been hell. Like the prices, remember how amazing the RTX 3070 was in terms of the price point? Everyone was like, holy crap, that's so cheap. You can't find it for the original price point. You know what I mean? There's no way. It's absurd. I mean, the last time I saw a 3080 available in my country, it was retailing for about, let's see, it was just under 40,000 Rand, which in dollars would be, yeah, like it would be like almost like $3,000. You know what I mean? $3,000 for a motherboard, for a graphics card.
Yeah.
Like they were supposed to be like in the $100 freaking price mark, and they just got but they got marked up. They had to, because of all these freaking crypto miners.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Nothing I can do about it. But I do hope that they come up with a system to like stop people from bulk buying online, But people will always find loopholes and stuff. I still like the trolling people do online.
That's how PS. They're saying the problem also with getting PS5s and Xbox Series X now
Scalpers and
is
stuff.
it's all the bots, like buying it anytime there's a dump of available consoles. They get them all and then they sell them at a higher price. And then
By the way, if anybody listening to this wants to make some super easy money, or just make a bunch of listings on eBay for a PS5, and then in the description say that this is just a photo of a PS5, and you can make bank because the bots will buy it. Everyone who has their bots setting up trying to buy these PlayStation 5s, half of them are getting scammed, because it's like, it's so easy for a bot to buy something that isn't the right thing. If you label it as PS5, but then in like brackets say like not actually a PS5 but a photo of a PS5, like that's the best troll I've seen in a long time. Like I would do that with graphics cards too. It'd be like, it's just an empty box.
Yeah, it's a box of the RTX.
Yeah, but then the bot's gonna be like, oh, I see RTX in the title and I see the photo. You know what I mean? You got, buddy.
Yeah. Related to our game, well, actually not Game Pass, Xbox. Well, I guess no. I'll bring this up when you bring up this subject. So never mind. So my last thing, even though we've, this is probably our longest podcast we've ever done, and we're still not done yet. The last thing I had,
we have two big topics here, and I'm wondering if maybe we should actually save it for a different video. Like the Activision CEO thing and the Streamlabs thing. Anyways, we'll see.
No, I think we can talk about it. Anyways, real quick, Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, which was a PC VR. I wouldn't say exclusive, but it was originally on there because of the size of the game and the scope of the game. Now has launched on the Quest 2. And by all accounts, it's getting pretty solid reviews. They're saying that in terms of a port, it's a great port from PC graphics to a Quest 2's graphics. They said the flaws with the game were already kind of in the game beforehand from the PC VR version, where it was fun and it did a lot of cool things, but it also it was inconsistent. But be warned, it's 41 gigs, which is like the largest Quest game you can buy. And if you're like me, who has a 64 gig version of the Quest, and I think 11 or 12 gigs is taken up by just
OS.
The OS. even though I technically cleared out enough room to install it, it's not installing. So there's a lot of
Oh
reports of
wow.
that, yeah, the issues. So
Yeah, that's also something I want to point out that I noticed on like the Nintendo Switch when I got a Nintendo Switch. A lot of the games on the Nintendo Switch barely fit. Like it would have to be the only game you have on your Switch because the
hmm
base model of the Switch is like 32 gigs.
yeah,
So it's like you like if you want to play Fortnite on your Switch and you don't have well look you can put in a micro SD obviously you can get like a terabyte micro SD.
yeah,
But if you don't have that, you just have the base Switch and you want to play Fortnite. That's all you're gonna have room for. Or even Monster Hunter Rise, like that takes up all the space.
I don't
Um,
get it though. So like when I originally bought my Quest 2, I bought the 64 gig thinking it was enough because I'm not even joking. At that time, most games were 1 gig
like
or
10
under.
gigs or something.
No,
Yeah,
one
like I was gonna say
gig.
like, oh wow,
1 gig or under.
or under. Damn. So you could
One
have
gig or
multiple. Yeah.
under. Yeah. So 64 gigs, that's plenty of space because you're not going to, even if you buy a lot of games, you're not going to keep them all installed. But
Yeah.
dude, 41 gigs.
Look,
That's
first of all, I'm glad you're saying this because like I said, I'm looking at a Quest for Black Friday, and well, now I know
well,
at least get 128 gig
that's the
at the
thing is
very
for
least.
you, it's actually not a problem because no,
Link cable, right?
the base model is now 128 minimum. There's no 64 anymore.
Oh, I
They
was gonna
launched
say because
with
I don't think I saw that. Like when I was looking online, I only saw the 128 and then the 250 something. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. So they launched that with 64. Now it's 128. So me as an early adapter got screwed. I got screwed out a lot of things. There was a free game
Yeah.
that like came out that I wasn't able to get because I had bought it like on day one. So being a
Oh
day
yeah.
one purchaser
That's the
is
worst,
not the
man.
best.
I know what you mean. That
Yeah.
for me, that was the worst of PlayStation Plus. They give you 2 free games a month, or like I think it's more now. One for PS5, two for PS4, but technically three for PS5, including the PS4 ones.
Yeah.
But it's like what sucks is when you buy a game and then a couple months later you get it for free on PS Plus, and you're like,
Yeah.
God damn it!
Yeah.
I just spent $60 on this, and now I'm getting
Yeah.
it for free.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, that's it for me. I know you got some stuff here.
Yeah, I am going to leave the more heavier topics for the end, and I'm going to blast through a couple of these quick
Okay.
ones.
Sure.
Um, weirdest thing that came out in the past week is, well, for me, is this game announcement for Dragon Ball: The Breakers, which is an online survival co-op game. Like, Dragon Ball Z has always been like a fighting game, you
Yeah.
know? So I don't. First of all, it's for the Switch, which makes sense. But I watched the trailer and I have no idea what the hell this game's about. Um, Aside from just running around and hiding, survivors can work on customizable skill trees, use items like weapons and grappling hooks to hop in vehicles, and eventually escape via the super time machine. Oh, it's like Friday the 13th, the video game. It's that game where it's like
Yes.
you'll one person will be the big
Yeah.
bad guy, and then other people. So that actually, it's just weird that it's set in the Dragon Ball Z universe.
Yes.
So the big bad guy is Cell. So someone's gonna be Cell, and then the rest of you are gonna be like Bulma or like freaking like all the sub characters. You know what I mean? Like anybody who isn't a Super Saiyan, just running around trying not to die.
hmm
I love that. That's actually hilarious. Yeah, it's just weird. What a weird like genre for Dragon Ball Z to be dipping its feet into. And it's set in the Dragon Ball Xenoverse world, which is like a lot of like multiverse time travel kind of stuff. So mentioning that because wow, that's weird. Fortnite has officially given up on trying to crack China. Um, yeah, the game started off quite positively. Um, Tried to tap into the Chinese market with 10 million players pre-registering for the game.
hmm
But due to the laws in the country, which are constantly changing,
Yes.
um, it's just not going to happen. Like the video games need to have approval from the government in order to
Yeah.
be played. I think in China.
A lot
So
of
it's
money
just,
can be made in China, but it's
yeah.
risky because everything is controlled by the government, and then they can change those rules or laws or kick you out
It's because
anytime.
of they said it's because of the sale of virtual items. So I'm guessing like literally the way they make their money, like their emotes, their gun skins, all that. So it's because of that they're not getting approved,
Huh.
and that's literally their source
Business
of
model.
income. So it's their business model. If it can't get approved, then it's not profitable. It's not worth it to launch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so there was that. I got some Elden Ring news here. Let me just type it, put it together because I had another one here. Where did it go? Um, 1 second. Oh, right here. Okay. Well, we found out. They explained the multiplayer, the co-op, the invasions, the PvP duels. We've had this long podcast is going on long, so I'm not going to dive too deep into it. But we got a lot more Elder Ring footage, as well as them explaining what the game's about. But the most interesting thing is that scalpers are selling Elden Ring closed network test codes for hundreds of dollars.
My God.
It's crazy. Like for 399, 250, 220, three. This is just on eBay. 350, like in dollars. We're talking hundreds of dollars. We're talking like the cost of a console. You can get the freaking the closed network test codes. It's insane. The most expensive one being $400 that I see here. The cheapest one being $220.
Mm-hmm.
But wow. And they're obviously different. Like the yeah, the PS5 ones are more for some reason are averaging at like a more expensive price. It's so weird. It's so weird. Like just wait for the game to the game comes out in a
Yeah.
few months, man.
Yeah.
Come on. It just kind of like I don't get it.
Well, it's
I don't
like
get
when
the
I see
hype.
people buy new consoles for like way over. Like, I'll buy a
Yeah, it's like
PS5 for $10,000. It's like, no,
or when
no.
you see someone paying $3,000 for a graphics card that's supposed to be like a couple hundred, you
Yeah.
know? Okay, this is big news actually for
Mm-hmm.
me. Not too much to talk about, but the PC Xbox app. So we're talking Game Pass for PC
Uh huh.
is it's removing all installation restrictions, which means that it's allowing modding. You can now mod your Xbox Game Pass for PC games. You can now mod them.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that moving forward, that's it's not just good for modding, but it's good for a lot of things like issues. Like I use the GeForce Experience to optimize all my games.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't pick up half the games on Xbox. Once Xbox removes their installation restrictions, I'll be able to optimize all the games through the touch of a button rather than, playing around for like half an hour trying to find the right settings. That's the one thing I prefer doing. But there's a lot of reasons why it's good. The main reason, because obviously now you can mod the games that you get on Xbox Game Pass, which is great. Well, for PC, once again, to
Mm-hmm.
reiterate. But that is a big step in a direction that I did not think they were going to take. I would never have guessed that they would have done this. I never would have thought because there's no real gain. They're not gaining anything, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And for a company to do something that they're not gaining from is just usually odd, you know. Um, but I think that this will also help out with some of the bugs in the Xbox Game Pass app for PC itself. Like there are still some bugs in the app. I think it'll help out with that. Starfield will let you choose your pronouns, and NPCs will respond accordingly. There's nothing else to talk about there. I just think that's cool. That's super cool for inclusion. I don't know a lot of other games that do that. Um, well, I mean, I guess technically Cyberpunk did it because you're just V.
Uh-huh.
Like you're not a him or a her. You're just V. Like that is your pronoun in that game. Um, but yeah, so I think it's really cool. Starfield is letting you pick your pronouns, and then NPCs will respond accordingly, and that's really really cool. Um, this is sad news for me because I guess the game never blew up as much as I wanted it to, but I loved the Jump Force game, which is an anime fighting game with like anime crossover fighting game with a bunch of anime characters from different series. Well, they're all Shonen Jump, so anything that is affiliated to Shonen Jump would be in the game, and I loved it. It had like two DLC, it had two season passes with a bunch of characters. I really love this game. These servers are going offline, which is sad, but not the end of the world because I actually never played online. I only play with friends, couch co-op. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's like Tekken. It's yeah, you can play Tekken online, but it's so much more fun when the guy's sitting next to you and you can smack talk. You know, um, so that's sad, but it is what it is. I'm gonna save this for I'm gonna talk about it now real quick. It's not really gaming related. It's anime related,
Mm-hmm.
but they're doing a live action One Piece show.
Yeah, I
Uh,
saw that. I saw the. I
and
mean,
I
I'm
was
not.
like, I think it's a dumb idea. But then I
Mm-hmm.
saw the casting, and surprisingly enough, the cast is not completely whitewashed. In actual fact, it's like it's really like it's kind of accurate. You know what I mean? Like Usopp, who is black, is played by a black man, which makes sense. You know what I mean? Sanji kind of has like this French vibe by him, so I think he's played by a French guy, like a white French guy. Nami is straight up a white girl. I don't know how I feel about that. Just some like, yeah. And then I have no idea what the ethnicity is of the lead character, but his face makes me think of Luffy from One Piece. So I think they did a pretty good job with the casting. And usually when it comes to live action adaptations, people trash. Like I don't know who any of these people are, by the way. None of them are famous, which is also quite good. But I think the casting's kind of good. Still don't know how they're gonna pull it off because the CGI budget for this would be crazy because it's anime. You know what I mean? Like it's not like the Death Note live action they did where it's like you can get it. You're writing people's names in a book and they're dying. This is like Luffy, the main character, is basically Mr. Fantastic. Like he stretches all over the place. You know what I mean? That pulling that off realistically is expensive. You know. Anyways, moving on because it's not really gaming related. It's anime related. Also worth mentioning because if you're listening to this podcast or you're watching this video and you're wondering why we haven't brought it up yet, it's because we only just got to it now. I don't know what to say. But the GTA trilogy is trash. It's got a user review of zero point 0.4 on Metacritic. People are trashing it. They're saying it is not worth $60. The fact that they're charging $60 for this is actually a sham. Yeah, you're getting 3 games, but they barely look like they've been remastered. There's so many issues with textures, with games. One of the bigger bugs in the game is like there's like hidden barriers where there's supposed to be like cliffs. Like I was watching a guy walk over like he was walking over a canal, like over like what it looks like an invisible bridge that's never been there. It's not supposed to be there. And it's like small things, like some of the stuff looks good, you know what I mean? And then some of the stuff looks really really bad and just not like it just seems lazy. Like one of like texture packs aren't lining up. Um, like this like most recently I saw a glitch of a guy walking around with a jacket that has the number 7 embroidered on the back, but then the number 9 is over it, but you can still see like the 7 sticking out, you know? And it's like, how did that happen? You know? It's just it just looks like look, I think people would have been okay with this if this game was $20. But
Yeah.
it's $60, Dennis,
Yeah.
and it is yeah, it's one of those things where literally, especially the San Andreas version. I've played San Andreas recently, and I installed mods. I mean, on the original San Andreas, and I installed mod packs on it, and I made the game look like a 4K masterpiece. Like it looks like what they should have done. The fact that modders did a better job of this like years ago is the part that's the most disappointing. Like it's not it's okay. It is. It's not horrible, but it's bad. It's down there. It's really not good. Like it's got to. It. People hate this more than they hated Cyberpunk. You know. I know we loved it, but people really hated Cyberpunk, and they hate this way more. You know, to the point where a lot of people are saying they're like, this made Cyberpunk look good. You know.
Yeah,
Um.
the hype out of it.
Yeah.
It's not, and it kind of concerned me when it kind of launched without any type of like real marketing
Hmm.
behind it. I was like, okay, they are really not concerned about getting the word out about this game, so they kind of knew that it wasn't going to be well received. That's my guess.
It's just yeah. No, this is not good. It's not going to affect Rockstar in any form or way because
It
they're a
makes so
billion
much
dollar
money. Yeah.
company. Yeah, I was gonna say this is not even like I can tell you right now that there's probably someone at Rockstar just laughing, going, ha, 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 "They think we care," ha, ha, ha,
Yeah,
ha. You know?
it's a remaster. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's not like okay if like
But it's not even a good remaster. If you look at like previous remasters we've had, like for instance, the Kingdoms of Amalur, that's a remaster. It's not
yeah.
a remake. They just retextured it. Like I didn't even like that game in my opinion. In terms of I would still rather just play the original because there's not that much of a difference in quality. That's what this was like. The character models are trash, but then it's like the palm trees look like the palm trees from the new GTA. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It's just so weird how like how they chose to make certain assets look crisp and great, and then other assets just look like janky and old. And it just I don't know. It's like they prioritized. It's like they did a half job. You know, like they just did the job halfway through and then they gave up. You know.
Yeah.
Supposedly, out of all 3 of them, the one that runs the best and looks the best is GTA 3,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the first one in the order of games. So maybe they just spent all their time working on that game, and then they didn't get to move up to the other games properly. Uh, but yeah, man, it's disappointing. I'll buy it when it drops down to $5 or less.
Okay.
That's when I'll get it.
Maybe they'll fix some
Uh,
stuff by then.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we spoke about the multiverses. Oh, this came out of nowhere. This was just announced earlier today, Dennis. Ubisoft Entertainment Center is opening in 2025 with a full theme park. There's going to be a Ubisoft theme park. I don't know how I feel about that, but yeah.
Where? In the
Let's see
U.S.
here.
or somewhere else?
Based in, it's going to be a
Europe?
40-minute drive from the city of Montpellier. Where is that? Wow, is this? I'm guessing it's. I can't pronounce these names. I'm guessing it's France.
It's either France
Um,
or in Quebec.
yeah. The studio says it's set to open its first Ubisoft Entertainment Center at the studio at studios. Actually, it could be Canadian because Canada's French too, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, Quebec
I think
is.
it's going to be Canada. Yeah, yeah, because a good part of like Canada is
Ubisoft
French,
is
like
and
Quebec. You know.
Ubisoft is based out of there.
Yeah, that's judging by the names I'm looking at, it looks like French Canadian. Yeah, there's going to be somewhere over there, but I guess it's going to be similar to the way that Nintendo did a Nintendo World. I guess Ubisoft's going to do like a Ubisoft World, but with more of an emphasis on tech. So I'm guessing like
Okay.
VR experiences and things like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That seems to be the case. But they're doing an entertainment center. The theme park's full theme park coming later. And when they say entertainment center, I'm thinking of the similar to Red Bull has an entertainment center in London, and it's basically just in like an esports cafe,
Hmm.
like on drugs. Like there's just a bunch of like beastly computers you can go play your games on. They have a bunch of VR rigs, a bunch of racing rigs, and it's basically a good way to like show off your products
Hmm.
at a place. You know what I mean? So it makes sense. So I think it's just going to be like a glorified internet cafe, you know, until they add the theme park part. 2025, so 4 years from now, we'll see what that looks like. Um, okay, so this is the big news, right?
Hmm.
And for anybody who is up to date with what's been happening with Blizzard and Activision, you probably already know this. But yeah, so the shareholders are calling for him to resign, but the board has his back. The point is, Activision employees are planning a walkout. They're planning, I think it's 700 of them now. They're planning to just walk out of the company unless Bobby, the CEO, gets unless he resigns. And we'll get into more about the reason why later. Actually, we'll get into that right now. I don't know what I'm saying. The reason why is because he hasn't done anything. I mean, look, Blizzard Activision. We all know it's a mess. It's a frat boy place. There have been cases of with Blizzard Activision. There have been cases of sexual harassment, rape, which is heavy. Actually, I don't even know if I can use the R word. You may have to blur that for this video on YouTube. Um, I can't even say that. So it's like, yeah. Anyways, the point is those two things which are horrible. One of the other things I found out recently was one of the people working, I think at Blizzard, had their nudes shared, and then she committed suicide. Like there's horrible things have happened at this company over since 2006, I might add. Like Bobby, apparently, what Bobby did in 2006, Bobby called his assistant at the time and threatened to have her killed. That went to court. He quickly apologized. It was 16 years ago, to be fair, or something around that time. And people can change in 16 years, but like that got buried. You know what I mean? And the thing is, for a long time, Bobby's been saying that he has no idea. He didn't know about these horrible things happening. But now emails have come out to show that he
Hmm.
definitely knew. They had a room at Blizzard called the Epstein Room. You know what I mean? Where they would do all sorts of fucked up shit. And it's like they like years ago, like this was even years ago. We're talking like 10 years ago. I forgot who it was. They recently, this is in the news too. They hired a lady, I forget her name, but she said she left because she felt like she was there just to be a token,
Hmm.
being like, "Hey, look, we hire women and
Oh
put
yeah,
them in
yeah,
good positions." You know, so
yeah.
she left and she recalls having been at a party. I think it was an Activision party, or it was like Bobby was at the party, and it was just like there was stripper poles everywhere, and there were strippers, and the DJ was like heavily encouraging all the women to drink, and like somebody got like one of the people who got R word. I don't want to say it again because it's such a heavy thing, but the one lady that got the R word, she was basically like peer pressured into getting so drunk that like, you can only
Hmm.
imagine what happened after that. It's just the more and more news are coming out of this, it is actually truly, it's disgusting. It's like it's horrible. And here's the thing, Dennis, there are still people defending Blizzard right now, like
Hmm.
fanboys. You got Blizzard fanboys defending them, and it's like, how can you defend this? I, you know, I'm really sad about this because I've really been enjoying uh, Diablo 2 Resurrection, but I feel like I can't sleep well at night playing that game, knowing all the fucked up shit happening at this company. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So morally, I feel like I can't play that game anymore. Like without thinking about all the women and the horrible things that these women have gone through. And the point is, so people are going to stage a walkout. They want the CEO Bobby to resign, but the board has completely backed him. They're like, no, we've got Bobby's back.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's handled the situation well. Every single time these cases have come up, he's taken care of them. But then the shareholders who are watching their share prices plummet every single day are saying, no, we want him to resign. Because I mean, right now I think like their shares are at like 40 something dollars per share, which is really not good. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? It's this is one of those things we said weeks ago. We're going to be covering this story for the next year. You know what I mean? Especially because the state of California is suing them. You know what I mean, for workplace harassment issues and stuff like that. But it's like I could honestly do an entire hour pod just on like the information that's come out in the past week. I could honestly do an entire hour long podcast just on that, like all the horrible things that have come out. You know what I mean? Um, it's a goddamn shame, man. Like I had posters of this company on my wall as a child, idolizing them, Dennis. Meanwhile, this shit was happening. You know what I mean? It's a real kick in the teeth. And you know what's sad is even if this wasn't the case, I'd still be disappointed in them because their games have been trash. You know what I mean? Like you take all this sexual harassment stuff aside, and what do they have? The last couple of releases they've had have been horrible. People have hated it. Yeah, Diablo 2 did well, but on launch it had horrible server issues because it was some of the game mechanics were tied to legacy servers from like 20 years ago, so people were having server issues. Uh, Warcraft 3 Reforged literally became Warcraft 3 Refunded.
Mm-hmm.
It's just Overwatch 2 is not going to save this company. No matter how good Overwatch 2 is, I do not think it's going to save this company. I think they'll see a boost. The shares will go up. People will play it anyways, but it's like you're not going to get all your players back, you know? Here's the thing. People will play Overwatch 2, but esport players aren't going to play it because they know that they have brands to upkeep. They know that they got to be good in the public image. Like there's not going to be an Overwatch League. People can't support it. People can't put their brands on that. They can't,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? It's not brand safe anymore. So I don't know I don't know what's going to happen. Like obviously like Bobby's got to resign. A lot of changes have got to be made, but changes that need to be made from the ground up, man, cuz like it's such a frat boy kind of vibe. It's horrible. Um I don't even want to read this. Like the stuff I'm reading now is actually like disgusting. But the point is we'll keep you guys updated on that. They've called for his resignation. He's not gonna. He doesn't want to. He's not gonna resign. He's not gonna resign. The board has his back. The shareholders want him out. We're gonna see what
Yes.
happens.
So,
Yeah. I just. Yeah.
on a side note to that, apparently, Microsoft had Phil Spencer had said what is it? They're evaluating all aspects of our relationship with Activision Blizzard and making ongoing proactive adjustments based on what's going on over there. And yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking at their shares, dude. They're just plummeting.
Mhm.
Like over the course since like March, dude. It's just been downhill. I mean, it was even like down before that. Like they just haven't been doing. They have not been doing well in the stock market for years, and it has now it has a lot. Like the most recent drop was huge. Holy crap! Like just a few days ago, the drops have been intense. But for like the past like months, you've seen intense drops, and that was before this. That was before this news came out. You know what I mean? And that's just from a performance point of view. They just haven't been performing either. It's I wouldn't be surprised if this company just like liquidates or just disappears completely. You know what I mean? In a few years from now.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Well, that's the
It's
thing is, so based on the way that this is just me speculating here. It's like based on the position Activision Blizzard is in, with if Microsoft is engaging them in whatever, like what if Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard and like vowed to clean it
and
up.
fixed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it could also be a good opportunity for Sony to finally nab a studio. You know what I mean? And here's the thing, like it would be smart because if their shares are dropping, the price of this company is dropping as well. You know what I mean? It would be very at a certain point. This at a certain point, I think they're gonna want to be bought. You know what I mean? They're gonna
Mm-hmm.
want to be bought because they know that not only will it be, good money to get bought, but also it gives them a second chance. You know,
Yes.
like
Different.
that's the only way that they're gonna get a second chance in the future is if they get bought by a bigger company. And then listen, also they need to get the thing that the employers are asking for, which is to have a review system from a third party. Like you can't have people review sexual harassment cases that are getting paid by the company. You need a third party to come in and review the workplace environment. You know what I mean? Like HR needs to be a third party in this case because HR is not doing their job.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, horrible news. I'm gonna move on to this last bit of news, which is also it's not happy news. It's not really sad news either. It's more just scummy kind of news. So Streamlabs OBS has been in the crossfire because Streamlabs OBS was sorry, you know what? I can't call it that anymore. It's no longer called Streamlabs OBS. We'll get to that in a second.
Mm-hmm.
So Streamlabs partnered with Twitch because they have a new software or app coming out that basically allows console players to be able to stream on Twitch using layovers. Like much like it's basically OBS but for console. It's not on the console, but I don't really know how it works. Maybe you like it links through an online service somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Or well, I know I suppose you still got to use well no because no if you use a capture card you can just use OBS. So it's got to be some other kind of system like that. But the point is they basically copied this like they completely copied it from another company. Like even the website template from the reviews. The reviews were copied, Dennis.
The
And what's
reviews.
worse, the reviews, like
That's
the
great.
reviews, like the
Yeah.
product reviews were copied. They copy and pasted the product reviews and just changed the name and put it on their website. Yeah, that's shameful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also like the template of like if you look at the two websites next to each other, they're exactly the same. It's so clear that Streamlabs copied the other website. And then Streamlabs even said in like a Twitter post, they were like, "We would like to say that that was just supposed to be a template. We were going to change it," which is basically them admitting that they stole it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's dumb. But then, so they were under fire for that, and then all of a sudden, a bunch of other companies just started dogpiling them. They were like, "Oh, by the way, they did this to us years ago, and
Yeah.
they stole this from us, and they copied this." So all these other companies are coming out now. Like OBS came out and said, "Hey, when Streamlabs came out, they spoke to us and asked, can we use the OBS name?" And we said we would prefer if you don't. You know, they didn't tell them no. They just said because it's open
Open
source. You know
source.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were like, we would prefer if you don't, you know what I mean? But obviously we can't stop you. And then so they just did anyways. But now it's like Streamlabs OBS is like that's what it's been called for years. People call it slobs for short. Like it has a freaking acronym, you know what I mean? Um, and if you Google OBS, it's the first page that shows up because they took out all the advertising on the term OBS. And it's like to the point where when I did my first stream, Dennis, I thought Streamlabs OBS was OBS. Like I didn't I and a lot of people thought that they were partnered because it's in its name. People were like, "Oh, Streamlabs OBS must be partnered with OBS." But it's like, no, they just did their own thing, you know? What was I gonna say? Elgato came out with the Stream Deck, and then Elgato came out with the Stream Deck app for your phone. So instead of buying the physical thing that you can click your buttons on, you can just use your phone as a Stream Deck. And then literally, Streamlabs came out with the exact same thing called, guess what? The exact same thing, the Stream Deck. Now it's just called the Deck. Now it's just called Streamlabs Deck. But they just keep copying from. It's so bad, and it's like I think Pokimane, who is one of their main partners, said that unless they like fix things, she doesn't want to have her name attached to them anymore. Um, and look, a lot of this stuff is open source, and they've done absolutely nothing illegal. Everything they've done is perfectly legal. It's just scummy, you know. That's all it is. It's just leaving a bad taste in people's mouth. And I think one of my favorite streamers said it best, which is Moist Critical, and he said, if it was any other corporate company, it wouldn't matter. You can do this all the time and get away with it. But you're in the industry of influencers.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody who uses your product is an influencer or a streamer or a YouTuber or an aspiring version of that. You know what I mean? So you need to look good in the social media space. So have done this was really dumb on their half, knowing that they're going to get roasted. And now they are. They're getting torn to shreds. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
see it all online.
They're getting absolutely torn to shreds. I don't think that Twitch has canceled their partnership because I'm sure that that's already gone through.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's the last bit of news I had. I didn't even know that they did all these like things. And it's not like it's not near I mean, look, it's not as horrible as what we spoke about 5
No,
minutes ago.
no.
But it's like it's just scummy, man. Hold on, I'm gonna quickly send you this Twitter post so you can see the side by side comparisons for the website that they
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that
you did.
already. Yeah.
It's like wow, it's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, thankfully I've never touched any Streamlabs software or apps or anything in my entire life because I think they're obsolete because there are other alternatives. I would instead of using Streamlabs for a lot of their stuff, I would use Stream Elements, which is a similar company, and they're good for like setting up your notifications and your interaction with your Twitch chat, you know, and also your donations and stuff like that. Oh, that was the issue. Pokimane does her donations through Streamlabs, I think. Like that's, and she said that she'll stop doing so unless Streamlabs fix the issue, or like at least cleans up their image a bit. That is the last bit of news that I have, though.
Cool. Yeah, this has already been our longest podcast, clocking in at 2 hours here, but we had a lot of stuff to talk about.
God damn.
A lot of big stuff to talk about.
Do you think we might split it in half and be like a part 1 and part 2?
No, it's not Dune.
No.
It's not Dune.
Boom. That's true. We're not Dune. We're about an hour away from being Dune, though.
yeah, exactly. But anyways, yeah, a lot of big stuff. I'm sure. I'm gonna be playing a lot more Halo Infinite. Maybe squeeze in some Forza Horizon 5. I'll see if I can get that Medal of Honor working on my Quest 2. But yeah, that's kind of what I'll be playing over the next week. What about yourself?
As usual, Valorant, and now a lot of excuse me, sorry. I'm gonna be playing Halo and Valorant almost exclusively, just those two games, because it fills my needs as a gamer.
Yeah. All right. Well, you and me should hop on and play some Halo Infinite.
Yeah,
sometime.
for sure. We can even play some right after this if you want.
Sure. Play for a little
We'll
bit.
see what the ping is like, because I know the difference between America and Africa is pretty big.
Yeah.
All
right. I guess that's it. Make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, youtube.com/Revog. You also can follow us on Twitter at Revog Games. You can follow me on Twitter at ThinkHero or on Instagram, Dennis.tzng. Josh, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitch at It's Thespis. Link should be in the description. And I am actually going to start streaming on YouTube as well quite soon. So look out for that.
Cool. All right. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.
Later.